and I just want to acknowledge Grandstream APAC for joining us today again. I think we can start now. We have 20 participants. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rachel Wan from Alloy Support, and our topic for today is remote extension and conferencing with Grandstream UCM. Our agenda for today is, of course, the introduction, discussion of remote solutions, and configuration with UCM. We will do the question and answer at the end of the discussions. Our other speakers are Christian Tapang and John Rick San Jose. Let's, let's discuss first who is Grandstream. Grandstream is the leading manufacturer of IP communication solutions. Grandstream was founded in 2002. Their headquarters is in US, in Boston. They have over 600 employees. So just in case if we have trouble with the devices or we need support, aside from Alloy, we have support engineers from other countries. Alloy Philippines is the exclusive distributor of Grandstream products in the Philippines. Let's start with remote work considerations. So why do we need to enable remote workforce? Of course, in times like this, just what happened due to COVID-19, everyone must stay at home, but global workforce and communications must not stop. Also in the Philippines, the weather is really unpredictable. Rainy seasons, floods, some highways are closed, traffic jam, things like that force the businesses to enable remote workforce. So and another point is the convenience. So if you have access remotely to your devices, you can manage it remotely. You'll still be able to communicate, which means it could improve your productivity, connectivity, and mobility. So that's it. Actually, a lot of communications technology we use on a daily basis already supports remote use, but even the basic models of IP phones of Grandstream, we can enable the remote extensions for that. But some don't know how it's done. So later, Christian will show you how to enable the remote extensions. Grandstream offers a wide range of remote solutions. For meetings, VoIP, and networking, Grandstream have it. But in this webinar, we will focus on these VoIP devices that could integrate with the IPPBX or the UCM. Grandstream have IP Video Talk. We had a webinar regarding this yesterday for those who did not attend. We will upload the recorded video soon in our YouTube channel, Alloy Computer Product Philippines. So please subscribe to that channel so that you can be notified once we have uploaded it. So IP Video Talk, for those who did not attend, I'll just have a short description. It is a cloud platform wherein you can create web meetings, webinars with up to 150 participants and 49 video feeds. So it also offers free basic plan. You can try it in the www.ipvideotalk.com. But if you need more participants, GrandStream have IPVT10 for a larger scale of collaboration up to 300 participants. So you can use the GVC series there. So let's remote solutions with GVC series. GrandStream have GVC series, stands for GrandStream Video Conferencing. It's a video conferencing device that allows you to call via SIP, H.323, or integrate it with IP Video Talk and IPVT10. GVC series have up to 4K resolution, this one, with built-in Wi-Fi and Android OS. So it has another model which is GVC 3200. This one, the resolution is 1080p. So if you don't want to use a cloud platform like IP Video Talk, you can still use your GVC for internal video calling. So let's say you have two remote extensions registered properly in your IPPBX in the office, you can still video call each other. This is an example of a deployment of a GVC series. As you can see, if you don't have a bigger monitor, you can use multiple monitors. This one is in US. Another one, this one is in Philippines. So Alloy helped one of our resellers to deploy this one. They use GVC series without an IP video talk. They only use internal calling. This is site 1 and this is site 2. I think this one is in Taguig and this one is in Pasay. So you also have option if you only need two video call feeds, you don't need a lot of participants, you can just use GVC. And if you have proper setup with the router, you can make this work. So let's proceed with VoIP solutions. Let's start with UCM. So UCM stands for Unified Communication Manager. It has an award-winning set of features. It offers no licensing fees, intuitive and easy to manage web GUI. It has a feature of auto discovery and zero configuration of GrandStream SIP endpoints. It also offers the strongest possible security using SRTP, TLS, and HTTPS. So you can use your UCM to support remote devices, remote device provisioning and deployment. It also supports video calling and conferencing. And if you have a built-in VPN in your network, existing one, you can still integrate your UCM to connect to your VPN network. So you can also register concurrent SIP registrations and use a barcode to set up GSWave. So regarding that barcode, this is an example of a barcode of GrandStream. So when you use your mobile phone to scan this QR code, all of this information will be transmitted to your device, to your mobile automatically once you scan this one. So your phone will be registered automatically. So that's one of the features of UCM. Other features of UCM are this. Let me just pinpoint the important ones. The IVR, this is the interactive voice response, or also known as digital receptionist. So this is the one you hear when you call Jollibee, I mean restaurants or banks. The first person who the first person you can hear that is an IVR. So you can also do conference, voicemail, follow me. Follow me is the diversion of call. So if your phone is unavailable, if you aren't able to answer it from your IP phone, you can direct it to your mobile number. Also have paging and intercom. So this one is also the call center features like the switchboard. You can monitor the calls coming in, agents logging in or logging out. Um, there's also fax, wake up service for hotel integration. It's also one of the feature of our UCM. And announcement center. This one is to enable announcement to all IP phone. Some voice prompt will be heard at the same time in all IP phones. And also call recording. So these are all the features of UCM. So now I'll show you the deployment scenarios we can do with UCM. For individual offices, this could be your setup. You have an IP phone, video conferencing device, and audio, door facility, and security devices. So that could be one of the deployment scenarios. Another one is for multiple office. Let's say you have two office 1 and office 2. All are connected to just one IPPBX. That's possible. And the other one, if you have two office and each have IPPBX, and as long as you have proper setup and have access to the internet, you can make office 1 to office 2 communicate with each other. And of course, our main agenda is for the remote and traveling workers. That's also possible. But how do we classify the remote extensions? So let's say this is your main office, this one, wherein your PBX is installed and you have installed an IP phone there with a router connected to the internet. This is your main office. Let's say you have location 1. This is your home. You want to work from home. The only thing you need is the router that has access to the internet and an IP phone or DECT phones. Um, you can communicate from your home to your office with no problem. So that's it. That's how remote extension works. So you also have option to use your mobile. So if you don't have a router, it's okay as long as you have 4G, 3G, or LTE that allows your mobile to have access to your internet. You can communicate to your coworkers in the office. So it doesn't have a charge since it's registered correctly in the IPPBX. So it won't charge you. Next one. So our remote extensions here is this mobile and the one from home. Next is remote work with GXV series. So if you want video calling, this is suitable for you. It supports three-way video bridge. It is built in. The OS is Android. That's why it's great to have this one. And you can do chat with friends, join meetings, and browse the web. So you can also create a home video conferencing solutions with this one. So I'll show you one of the example. This one is in UAE. As you can see, this is a government official communicating with one of the doctor, I think, or nurse that's wearing a mask. So as you can see here, they are dialing 111. So that means it's a local number. It is registered to their IPPBX, and they are calling remotely to each other and there's a video feeds. So, so if you think the screen of the GXV series is not enough for you, you can extend it using HDMI. So you can see clearly the one who are you talking with. And next one is this GXV3380. I just want to show you how pristine the new design of the newly released device of GrandStream and how elegant it is. So could be one of your options for remote extensions. So work remotely with WP series. So this is the highest quality wireless phones for remote workers of GrandStream. So most home nowadays have Wi-Fi access. So it's really great. It actually have 7.5 hour talk time and 150 hour standby time. So that's a lot of time or 10 days that you don't have to charge it most of the time. So it's easy to set up and seamless roaming. It also supports OpenVPN. Another option is the DP series. It's affordable wireless phones for remote workers. It's DECT, digital enhanced cordless telephones. So you can use this one. It offers 50 meters indoor range. Work from home with GRP series. So this one is the series of next generation IP phones. Features a sleek new design, a reimagined user experience, unified firmware, and powerful feature options. So it has dual LCDs, as you can see here. This is where you can see the BLF digitally. You can monitor your coworkers if they are busy or active. So if you're concerned about hacking, it has a dedicated endpoint hacking protection, which is really ideal for remote. So next one is the GXP series. Um, Even the basic IP phones, we can enable it to use remotely. So these are the basic IP phone, has 3 SIP accounts, four-way audio conferencing, and HD. And if you don't want to use video calling, this one is I think, the affordable IP phones that can be used remotely. So these are some of the Grand Stream spotted GXP series. This one is in one of the restaurant, and this one is the office. So if you're using that currently in the office, you can enable it so you can work from home. Christian will show you how it's done later on. These are also some of the spotted Grandstream device in the movie of Roman J. Israel. So next one is the HT series. So if you have an existing analog phones and you still want it to be connected to your IPPDX, you can also use it to work from home or in other location. So it extends advanced VoIP features to remote users. So it will function the same as with the basic IP phone once you have this HT series. It's easy to remotely deploy and manage. So here, you can use your analog phones, analog fax, and you can integrate it with your IP phones and IPPDX. So it will function perfectly like an IP phone. Next is the GS Wave or Grand Stream Wave. This is also one of the best remote device for teachers, delivery, and medical and government. So you can make and receive VoIP calls on any Android or iOS as long as you have an IPPBX. It is a free app. You can download it. It supports any SIP account. I think in the new firmware of GS Wave, it also supports video calling. So this is where you use the barcode or the QR code that is provided in the UCM. So once you have scanned it from the UCM or from your email, it will automatically be transferred to your phone and be registered. So you can make calls. You can also do chat from there. So those are the extensions that you can use remotely that can be integrated with the UCM series. So I think Christian will now show you how to configure remote extensions from the UCM.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Would you mind if I can show them my screen? Okay. Let me just quickly share you my screen. All right. Can you guys see it now? Okay, yeah, you can just raise your hand by, you know, clicking the button in the IP video talk. If you can see my screen now. All right, yeah, I can see some participants responded, and all right, let's start. By the way, thank you, Rachel, for the presentation, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Christian, and I hope everybody's doing fine, and thank you for being with us today. In this topic, I'm going to show you how to enable remote extension using the GrandStream UCM 6000 series. Uh, it is now very important to enable remote workforce as we are in this difficult situation as of the moment. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get started. By the way, I have here the most frequently asked question by our partners, and it is the what is the advantage of having GrandStream devices, and why would I buy GrandStream? Yeah, why would you buy GrandStream, and why choose GrandStream? Here are the things that I can just share you. Number one, GrandStream provides you a device that doesn't offer any licensing fee. Yes, you've heard it right. GrandStream UCM provides all you need in just one-time investment. You don't have to pay any additional licenses just to enable specific features. The advanced features of GrandStream UCM allows you to get the benefit of mobility or anything that you want from the unified communication devices. Number two is it is easy to manage. The simple and intuitive graphical interface of the GrandStream UCM series helps the system administrator or the guy who handles the system and the one who's uh, maintaining the system to make the necessary configuration without any complication, which I'm going to show you later what does it look like. Last but not the least is in the interoperability of the device. That's right. The flexibility of the device to interop to any of the SIP devices around the market. That is, if it's using the same protocol SIP 3261, but still, of course, we recommend to use Grandstream IP phone to maximize the features of the Grandstream UCM 6000 series. All right, so let's now go ahead to the agenda of this presentation. So the prerequisites, make sure that the server has a public static IP available. If we can also use the DNS if there's no static IP available uh, in the server side, that's not a problem. Basic networking knowledge, specifically in port forwarding. Before we started this webinar, in my case, I have already configured our firewall using the Grandstream GWN 7000 router. I have already opened the default SIP port 5060, and I also make sure that the SIP ALG is disabled in the router. Now, you might wondering why I did not include RTP port or the RTP range, because with the latest feature of the UCM, um, it actually doesn't need anymore. I'll show you later why. And we will be doing step by step setting up of remote extension, the NAT, endpoint SIP registration, and making our first call. All right. This is the network setup that I have prepared for this session. The Grandstream GWN 7000, or the router that I'm using, is of course our firewall.
Hello,
Uh,
Christian. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
We can only see the first page of your presentation.
Oh, okay. Let me just quickly see. Is that right? I mean, does the participants also see only my first slide? Can you guys let me know if you can see the rest of my slides in the past? Okay. Hmm. Okay, maybe we'll do it again. I'm sorry. Hi, Rachel. Are you still there?
Yes. I can see
Yeah. Uh,
the enabling remote extension.
okay, how about this one?
Moment. Still in the enabling remote extension.
All right. Okay, just give me some moment. Let me just try to have this one fixed. All right, how about this one? Can you please confirm, Rachel?
Yeah, we can see it now.
And the next page?
Yes, yes. Thank
All right,
you.
cool. All right, yeah. Well, yeah, thank you for that. Let me just try to go back to the start. Okay, so yeah, I think I have already introduced you why you need to choose Grandstream or why choose Grandstream because it has no licensing fee and every features are already included in just one-time investment. It's easy to manage. I'll show you later, and the interoperability of the device is um, you can you know interrupt the device with any SIP devices around the market, and of course the agenda that's I just talked earlier. What are the things that we need to discuss during the session? And yeah, so the prerequisites, it needs to have the public static IP available. And yeah, we can also use DDNS if there's no static IP available in the server side. And on the firewall, the basic networking knowledge specifically in port forwarding. And yeah, before we start this webinar, I have already set some of the ports being open and being configured on the firewall side. So, and also we will be discussing how to set up the remote extension via NAT and the SIP registration. We will do that as well. And of course, yeah, making our first successful call, hopefully. Anyways, uh, this is the network setup that I have prepared for this session. I'm sorry that you didn't saw it earlier, but yeah, the Grandstream GWN 7000 is our firewall router using the Grandstream 6510. The IP phones are deployed to different locations and we need to register them in the PBX. So let's assume that this is the office PBX and these are the phones from uh, each houses of the users. Let us say extension 1 is Rachel, extension 2 is using by yours truly, and extension 3 is using by one of my colleague as well. Right, enabling remote extension. So first things first, of course, we need to access the Grandstream PBX via its web browser by putting its IP address in the URLs. I mean in the URL, okay? So I believe that you guys already know about this one. Grandstream provides a web UI for us to configure and do things that we wanted to uh, in the PBX. Make sure that you logged as an administrator. And yeah, the next thing that you need to do is to set up the NAT configuration by going to PBX settings. In here, let me just quickly show you there. By going to PBX settings, under the SIP settings, go to NAT section and make sure the in an external host will be the public static IP of the network in the server side. So in my case, I have here our public IP, which I covered up for some security purposes. Uh, 5060 is the default port we are using for UDP and TCP as a SIP port. So if you are using different port, make sure that you open it on your firewall and it matches this section. By the way, use IP address in SDP. Make sure that this one is enabled. This parameter as recommended. The SDP connection will use the IP address results from the external host. I'll gonna uh, I'll try to give you what this one use later. All right. How about the local network address? Specifies the list of network addresses that are considered inside of the NAT network. Multiple entries are allowed. If not configured, the external IP address will not be set correctly. And in this case, we are using 192.168.0. 0/23 for our local phones in the office. Okay. Of course, after that one, press the save button to store the configurations, and it will gonna prompt here. Just press OK, and it will gonna say that the configuration needs to restart the device to take effect. You just need to press OK, and the device will gonna reboot. After the reboot, we will gonna need to create an extension number, of course. So some of you might already know how to add extensions in our PBX, but for some that doesn't know yet, you just need to log in as an administrator and go to extension trunk, extensions, and click the add button. So after you clicking the add button, you can create any extension number that you want. I have here extension 600 created with authentication ID the same with the extension number, and the zip password test extension 6000. Do not forget these three credentials. It's very important because these credentials are the one that we're going to use to register to our SIP endpoints. Okay. Make sure that the NAT is enabled in the media section of the extension. So we are here in the basic settings. You just gonna need to go to media from the menu bar at the top. It will gonna show you this um, extension settings that make sure that the NAT option is enabled. Now, I think we are all set in the server side. The next thing that we need to do is how are we going to register the extension number from the IP phones or the SIP endpoints. Of course, go to your devices. This is the Grandstream GXP 1625 from a different location. I captured this one. I think this IP phone is in Rachel's location, as far as I can remember. Anyways, I'm now trying to register the extension number that we just created on our server, which is this one using a different credentials. Okay, but yeah, I'll show you later how. So on our server, I assume that we have created extension 1004 with the authentication ID 1004, and then the authenticate password must match to the one that we just created on the server. Click Save and Apply, and after that, go to Status. By the way, in the SIP server, you are going to put the public IP address of the uh, PBX that will serve as our SIP server. I just covered it up for some security purposes and as well as this one. So by going to the status, we have here the SIP user ID 1004 using the SIP server of our PBX, and the SIP registration says it's yes. So I assume that from the PBX, when I go to the PBX and see the status from the extensions, I can see that the extension 1004 is already registered. And by the way, from here, you can see another public IP. This is the public IP address of the device from this phone or from this location. And I believe this is a public IP address of Rachel. Okay. Yeah, I think that's after that, you just have the status check from the PBX from the phone. Just repeat these steps from to other extensions that you wanted to create and try to make a test call. I think we just have some, let me just quickly show you what PBX we use for this one. Just one sec. Let me just access our PBX and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, I think. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Anyone?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. So yeah, this is the PBX that we're using in this session right now. So I need to log in as an administrator. Of course, I don't want to save that one. All right, so the first thing that you're gonna see after you logged in as an administrator, of course, is the dashboard where it will show you all the resources being or all the uh, data that needs to present or the status of the system. And in our case, we need to check the extension numbers. And from here, we can see that extension 1004 here is the one that we use for the example. And yeah, I think that you guys are seeing some of the IPs here are, different from others because these are the IP addresses of our endpoints. And yeah, let me just try to grab my GS Wave. By the way, GS Wave is a free application that you can download in both Android phone and iOS devices. All right, so I just registered as 1003. I think before it is actually not registered. And look, this is my public IP in my location right now, and I guess those other IP addresses are from the other location, which gives us a a good sign that the devices are already registered on its respective locations. Let me just try to call Rachel or the IP phone that we just registered a while ago. 1004 using my phone. Yeah, I'm calling it now. Can you guys hear it?
It's ringing. It's ringing now from my end.
Really? Can you answer it?
Yes. Okay. One.
I'll just gonna have them show if we have a voice or an audio with this one because most of the issue that we are experiencing with the remote extension is that the call doesn't have any audio or one-way audio. All right, Rachel, are you there?
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Okay, so as you can see here, we successfully made a call and the voice, or I mean the audio can be heard by both party. Now, I have here earlier said that we don't need to port forward the RTP port 10,000 to 20,000. Is that right? This one. Yeah, that's right. We don't actually need, I'm sorry. Yeah,
One, two,
we don't.
three, four.
Okay, Rachel, you can drop the call now and yeah. Okay, yeah. By the way, the RTP doesn't need to be forwarded anymore in our in our router, because opening a wide range port in our network is a kind of risky. So Grandstream has these new features that allows us to not port open the port 10,000 range, but we need to make sure that from SIP settings, and in here the RTP needs to keep alive and set to 1. So what does it do? Actually, it makes the media packets, or the RTP packets, allows the PBX to handle the invites and the exchanging of packets from remote extension to the server, um, in the server side. Yeah, we don't really need to open the port 10,000 to 20,000, or that 10,000 range of UDP port in our system, because that's quite risky. So I I recommend you to just port forward the 5060 and make sure the SIP ALG is disabled on your firewall, and make sure that this RTP keep alive sets to maybe just 1, or yeah, set it to 1, and the PBX will handle the um, transactions of the calls, and giving the multimedia packets to one going to another. Okay, so by the way, by doing this remote extensions as well, you can do a video. I think that is the new feature from Grandstream. PBX allows callers to use the GS Wave and make a video calling from using the GS Wave. Yeah, so remote extensions can now video call extensions to extensions as well. Okay, let's go back here. And by the way, you can ask questions in Tagalog, and we will try our best to answer your question and translate it for our other participants who doesn't talk our native language. Okay, and I think that's it. Thank you. We will answer your questions after the webinar, because Janrik will be the next presenter after this one. Just just leave your questions um, in the Q&A session or in a group chat. We will try our best to answer those questions after um, the session. Yeah. Again, you can ask questions in Tagalog, our native language, if you want, and we will try our best to answer it and translate it for other participants. Okay, I guess that's it. And let me see if Janrik is already ready for his presentation after this one. Janrik, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Clear.
Okay.
I'll pass you
Okay,
through.
salamat. Salamat sa magandang presentasyon. Okay. I'll just okay, I will just share my desktop. Okay. Thank you, Christian, for that wonderful demo presentation. By the way, hello everyone. I'm John Rick San Jose, one of the technical support of Alloy CP Trading. And for our next presentation, we will talk about GrandStream Remote VoIP solution and UCM conferencing. So, bali si Rachel na, hello? Sorry about that.
All right. We seems to be having some technical difficulties in the end of Chanrik, and we'll try to reconnect him as soon as possible. Please stay. Give us a moment. All right.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now, everyone? Okay.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
Chanrik, we can hear you.
Sorry about that. I will present. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, John Rick.
Sorry.
We can also see your
Okay.
screen now.
Okay. For our next presentation, we will talk about GrandStream Remote VoIP Solution and UCM conferencing. And our agenda for today's webinar is number one, VoIP solutions or recap on VoIP solutions. Number two, introduction to UCM conferencing. Number three, multiple conference bridges. Number four, deployment scenarios. And for our last part is the Q&A portion. GrandStream has a wide range of remote solutions. As you can see, there's um, uh, video conferencing and audio conferencing, which Louis and Rachel presented yesterday. GrandStream also offers network devices for remote solutions, but for today's presentation, we will focus on the VoIP solutions. The UCM series, just like Rachel and Christian mentioned earlier, this is the IPPBX of GrandStream. The GXV series is the IP video phones, the DP and WP series, which is the DEC and Wi-Fi phones. The GRP series is the carrier grade IP phones offers by GrandStream. They also have a free downloadable app for iOS and Android devices. And the last but not the least is the HT series, which can be used to integrate analog phones for or fax machine to VoIP network. Remote work with the UCM series. The UCM series can be used in different businesses, enterprises, hospitals, and schools. UCM series offers virtual communication networks. Of course, it supports remote devices that can be provisioned remotely. It also supports video and audio conferencing. You can also build VPN tunnels from home offices to the UCM network. Multiple concurrent SIP registration, when you say multiple concurrent registration, for example, you have multiple SIP devices such as IP phones or analog telephone adapters, or maybe your GS Wave. the free cell phone app of GrandStream, you can register same local number on all of those. GrandStream Wave has a feature uh, that you can scan a QR code that will automatically register your cell phone app to your SIP server. Remote work with the GXV series. The GXV series can be used for remote workers, healthcare, government, and senior homes. It has built-in features of video calling through Android and SIP. As you can see, GXV series is like an Android tablet where you can join meetings, attend webinars, and chat with your friends using your favorite apps. You can stay connected with Google services and browse the web, and you can also create a home video conferencing solution using the HDMI in and out and the Bluetooth feature of GXV series. Work remotely with the WP series. These are the high quality wireless phone GrandStream offer. The WP series is suitable for home use. Why? Because most homes have Wi-Fi access. It is easy to set up and seamless roaming is possible. Oh, sorry. A WP series can be an open VPN client. It is easy to transport because it is lightweight and compact. You can keep in touch with your coworkers using the PTT or the push to talk functionality, just like a walkie-talkie. And then also the two lines feature of the device. It expands Office network with wireless voice and scalable solution for enterprise, medical, logistics, security, and more. Another wireless solution offered by GrandStream is the DP series. It is very affordable for remote workers. You can roam around your home while using this device as long as it is covered by the 50-meter indoor range of the DP series. Uh, just just like the WP series, the DP series is easy to transport because it's lightweight and compact. The DP series is very good for your sales team because you can create a ring group or hunt group on your IPPBX and register it to the DP series. Unlike the WP series, the DP series requires a deck base station where you will pair your deck handsets. These handsets models are the DP730, DP722, or DP720. And the deck base station is the DP750 and 752. It also expands Office network. Okay, work from home with GRP series. These are the carrier grade IP phones of GrandStream. Again, this is very good for remote workers. Why? Because you can recreate the familiar look and feel of your office in your home. It is easy to manage remote deployments because it has a Wi-Fi feature and most homes have Wi-Fi. It extends presence to remote workers by using the VP case and dual LCDs. It adapts from home use with Bluetooth handsets and speakers. For security, GRP series has dedicated endpoint hacking protection, which is ideal for remote. It can also be an open VPN client. Work from home with HT series. If you still have an analog or digital phones or maybe fax machines and you still want to use it for remote workers, GrandStream HT series allows you to integrate analog to VoIP. It extends advanced VoIP features to remote users on analog phones, including three-way voice conferencing, and it is easy to remotely deploy and manage this using the TR069 and XML config. Remote work with GrandStream Wave. It is very suitable for remote workers, teachers, delivery, medical, and government. It is a free application both on iOS and Android devices. Um, you can make and receive calls wherever you are, as long as your smartphones have internet connections like data connections, 4G, LTE, or maybe Wi-Fi. It supports SIP accounts with up to 6 SIP accounts in total, and it has a preloaded config settings for hundreds of service providers. So if you want to have your own service provider or SIP service provider, maybe GrandStream have preloaded config settings for that. And it supports a 6-way conferencing presence and more. You can also register with Easy Barcode Config using the UCM series. Introduction to UCM conferencing. The UCM supports conferencing, which increase employee efficiency and productivity, and also provide more cost-effective way to hold business meetings. A variety of conference call features offered by UCM 6000 series, including individual management conference call activity, multiple conference room, conference bridge, and conference schedule. The UCM 6000 series supports room allowing multiple rooms use at the same time. By the way, these are the models of UCM series. UCM 6202 and UCM 6204 supports up to 3 conference room, allowing up to 25 simultaneous PSTN and IP participants. The UCM 6208 supports up to 6 conference room, allowing up to 32 simultaneous PSTN or IP participants. And the flagship model of GrandStream, the UCM 6510, supports conference room allowing 64 participants with up to 8 bridged rooms at the same time. Okay, this is a screenshot where you can create, edit, or delete the conference room on the web GUI. Uh, here, here are the conference settings where you can configure. On the extension section, you will configure the conference number, and then this number will be the one that the users will dial to join the conference. You can also set a password. And please note that the password, it must be 4 characters. And here on the, let me just, okay. Here on the host password, you can also set that. And if you enter that password, you will be the administrator of the conference. And the administrator can manage conference call and invite other parties to join the conference. Here on the quiet mode, when you check this one, okay, if you enable it, if there are users joining or leaving the conference, voice prompt or notification tone will not be played. There are some of the these all of the, yeah, these are the all of the settings that you can enable on GrandStream UCM series. So for some of the settings, if you want to have a more detailed explanation, we can give you a detailed guide on how to create or edit a conference room. Conference schedule. Users can also create, edit, view, and delete conference schedule. Here on the conference subject, you will set the name of the scheduled conference, and then you will select the conference room. Here, for our example, we have 6300, conference room 6300. You can also set a password to log in to the conference. Here in the password. And then you can set the Local extensions, you want to attend the conference. And if you want to have a PSTN or other numbers not connected to the UCM, it is also possible by fill up when you fill up this section. Uh, Name, his number, and his email address. And then when you click this plus sign, you can add more. Okay. For more detailed explanation, we can give you a detailed guide where um, you can create or schedule a conference. Next is the multiple conference bridge example. Okay, the UCM supports multiple conference bridges between different conferences, a conference room to essentially bridge two conference rooms together, reducing bandwidth usage as displayed on the following diagram illustration. For this example, UCM-A is paired via SIP trunk to UCM-B. By the way, these two UCM can be installed in different places around the world. Okay, and they can communicate through the internet. We will just connect them via SIP trunk, and then that's it. They can communicate to each other. Moving on, UCM A created a conference room A, which the admin can invite conference room B, and they can now talk with each other. This is one example of the conference bridge. If you have more UCM that installed to multiple business buildings, okay, we can also do a conference bridge with this other up to three if you have UCM the lower version UCM 6202 or 6204. But if in UCM 6510, we can have an at least up to 8 simultaneous or conference bridge. Deployment scenarios. As I mentioned earlier, GrandStream offers not only VoIP solutions, but they also offer web meeting collaboration platform and video conference solutions. Remote work can be utilized using GrandStream network solutions such as this one, the access points, and the Wi-Fi management platform. This one is I think this is the GWN Cloud. And by the way, GrandStream have released the GWN Manager. It's free software that you can download in the on the website of GrandStream, and you can it's like GWN Cloud, but you can install it on a server, and you can manage up to 3,000 to 10,000 based on the 3,000 APs based on the server that you installed it. And in terms of VoIP solution, the UCM series of IPPBX allow business to create a platform that support remote users. Um, Also, GrandStream offers the ideal devices for every type of remote user, including variety of Wi-Fi options. As you can see, um, this all of these devices have Wi-Fi capability, so it's very good for the remote workers. Okay. Education. GrandStream can also provide remote solution for education by creating a variety of virtual classroom on IP Video Talk, uh, which can offers cloud-based platform for online classes, complete with screen sharing, group or private chat, recordings, and more. We can offer GBC series, this series of SIP or H.323 hardware devices provides flexible dedicated video device that works on a widely variety of platforms. Okay, this is the GVC 3200, and then the IPBT10 um, for schools who prefer to build a virtual classroom platform with an on-premise server. We can use the IPBT10. Grandstream VoIP solution provide teachers with the options of cordless Wi-Fi phones, desktop Wi-Fi phones, or mobile app. Uh, they can they can be stay connected with other teachers, administrators, and parents. The UCM series of IPPBX provides a communication platform that easily supports remote use and future scalability. And the GDMS, this is the Grandstream Device Management System. This tool allows school IT teams to provision devices without touching them and ship them to the teachers for remote use. The GDMS also provides a cloud-based tool to manage and monitor all those remote devices. This is a free app. This is a free software or this is a free management platform that Grandstream offers, the GDMS. In terms of healthcare, Grandstream GXV series of IP video phones offers easy to use yet powerful telehealth solution. These Android IP video phones are popular telehealth solutions as they allow for video calls between medical professionals and patients through Android apps, SIP platforms, or direct IP calls. So any of those three, you can use the GXB series. Whether they are in the hospital or traveling or at home, Grandstream offer easy ways to ensure critical medical staff can always be reached to help medical teams hold remote meetings or using the GVC series and IP Video Talk. They can provide powerful yet flexible options. And okay, for the government, the grant stream offers a wide variety of options that allow government to keep staff securely connected from any location, including mobile apps, Wi-Fi cordless phones, Wi-Fi desktop phones, yep, and then to keep essential in order or in-office staff connected with each other. So our GBC series offers traditional formal video conferencing experience. And that's conclude our presentation. If you have question, feel free to use our Q&A feature on the IP Video Talk, and we will try our best to answer your questions. And salamat po sa inyo lahat. Okay, let's see sino may mga katanungan. Sir MacJoel Ramirez have a question. Do we have a limit connecting offices? What do you mean, sir, by limit, Sir McJowell? If you're pertaining to SIP trunk, um, Grandstream app can. Hello, what's this?
All right. Yeah, let me just try to repeat the question. W- where is-
Yeah. Do we have a limit connecting offices? If you're pertaining to SIP trunk, Grandstream can create or you can register up to 50 SIP trunks, Sir McJowell. So up to 50, you can connect up to 50 UCM to each other. But if you're connecting through via conference, we have on it depends on the model of the UCM. Let me just check. If you have UCM 6202, you have up to three conference room that can be that can call to each other uh, simultaneously. And then in UCM 6208, you have six you have up to six conference room, and then in the UCM 6510, you have eight conference rooms that can be breached at the same time.
All right. So I think we have a questions as well pertaining about the remote extensions because most, as I said earlier, most of the um resellers or our partner as I mean our partners are always asking if what are the resolutions has been made if we encountered one-way audio. Well, mostly it is about the media packets that being sent by your PBX going to your remote extension. So make sure that you have the ports, the properly ports being configured on your firewall, such as the C port 5060. And as I said, you don't need to open the port 10,000 to 20,000, the UDP port, because the new Grandstream feature allows us to just enable the RTP keep alive so that it doesn't need to open the port UDP 10,000 to 20,000 for the media ports. And also make sure that you disable any SIP ALG from the router because most of the time this is the issue that being raised by our partners and most of them forgot to disable the SIP ALG. That's why they can't hear the other party or either way. So there's some issues with no audio, um, one-way audio. So those are just the things that you need to check for you to troubleshoot one-way audio when dealing to remote extension. Okay. Yep. So if you have more questions, feel free to ask in the group chat or in the question and answer portion. We will try our best to answer it, whether it's in Tagalog or in English. We'll do our best to answer it.
I think Sir Brian Bernabat have a question about this CPU usage 100%. Um, we recommend that you upgrade it to the latest firmware as we can see that this is This firmware is very old, and we recommend to upgrade your UCM to the latest firmware. And if this 100% usage of the CPU still persists, I think um, it may no sir, no sir. No configuration will change. We recommend that you will back up first before you upgrade your UCM. Then you proceed to upgrading the IPPBX. If you have more question, you can ask anything. Any more questions?
I think we have here a question about UCM to four location sub offices. I guess you have already answered this one, but yeah, let me just quickly clarify if the participant didn't get that one. Yes, UCM can pair to or peer to four of your location sub offices. That is possible because UCM gives us and allows us to connect for more than 50, I mean at least 50 UCM to each other or 50 Grandstream PBX to each other connected as one. The specification of our Grandstream actually fits on your requirements. And yeah, that question is doable. Okay.
Okay.
How many? Okay, I think we have here one more question. How many extension numbers can register as a remote extension? Well, it depends actually on the PBX specification. We have varieties of models for PBXs. We have the UCM 6202, which allows us to register for a minimum of 500 users. We also have a GrandStream UCM 6208, which gives us a minimum of 800 users. And the flagship as of the moment of GrandStream is the UCM 6510, which gives us a maximum of 2,000 user extensions. And yeah, you can register all the devices, whether it's via remote extension or in just a local setup, as long as it meets those requirements or specification of our GrandStream model, a specific model. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. One UCM with four locations in a public IP. Okay, I guess you are trying to say one UCM and it has a client with different public IP addresses. Is that what you mean? If so, yeah. Um, just like what I've shown you earlier, that me, Rachel, and one of my colleagues is connected to one of the server, and we do have different public IPs, and that is possible. Yeah. So whether you are in a different locations and your PBX sits in just um, one location, the PBX doesn't, that what I mean is the PBX will read your public IP as a client. So that is actually possible. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you're welcome. With So if you have more questions, just feel free to ask. We have here the group chat and the question and answer page. Okay. All right. So we have here another question from Dino Vidal. How can we connect GS Wave app on Android phone to call the local phone registered to the PBX? Well, it's just the same thing as you're trying to call it locally. So let us say your GS Wave app on Android has an extension number 1000 registered on it, and the local phones are registered on the PBX locally with the extension number 1002. You can just call them straight away with their extension numbers. Is that what you mean? How can we connect GS Wave app on Android phone to call the local phone? Oh, all right. So I think that is another question. That one, but yeah, you can connect the GS Wave app on uh, the Android phone by going to the application itself, and there is a setting there on the lower right part of the application. After you click that one, settings, it will give you the options for account settings, advanced settings, provisioning settings. Just go to the account settings, and at the right top corner of the application there is a plus sign wherein it allows you to add a new account. So when you do that, go to SIP account and put the necessary credentials such as the SIP server, SIP user ID, SIP authentication ID, and then the password. Just like the thing we've done in registering an IP phone, it's just the same. But of course, GS Wave has a different interface. But it's just a self-driven app. If you just go to the settings of the application itself, and then the account settings, add a new account, SIP account, and yeah, just put those credentials as well on the device and click save and wait for the registration to be sent in the PBX. And yeah, you can check the status of the registration as well in the GS Wave by going to its um, dashboard. Yeah, it has. So I guess we are not able to show you how to register or to connect the GS Wave app using the credentials, but we will try to, if you can just allow us to send us you the configuration that will be after this presentation. We will try to send all of you the procedures on how to register SIP accounts on GS Wave. If that's what you want, Mr. Dino, yeah, we can do that. Let me just take note of that. Okay, any more other questions? All right.
Sir Bryant Bernabat also has a question. What is the solution for our GAC display moving itself volume up and down continuously? Um, I think, sir, you should file a ticket for that, and I think this is a I can say that it's a defective unit, but first you can factory reset the product and then okay for the unit is out of warranty. I can say that maybe you should factory reset the product and then see if it's the volume still up doing up and down continuously. You should factory reset it. But if it's out of warranty, very sorry to tell that I think you can.
Okay, another question. Does the GS Wave allows you to call other extension number using video calling? Yes, we've mentioned that earlier that the newer features of GrandStream allows you to call using the GS Wave via audio or using video feature of it. Yes, it's possible.
Sir Roberto Sanglay have a question. Can you use other soft phone apps, example Xlite, to connect to the UCM? Yes, sir. You can use other apps as long as it's SIP 3261 compliant. If it's not SIP 3261 compliant, it will not work to our UCM.
Do you have other questions?
I think we can wait for 5 more minutes if there's no more question and we can end the meeting.
Well, I guess that is for today, and I would like to say thank you very much for all the participants who made to be with us today, and we'll see you guys for the future webinars that Ali um, will be in the will be present in the future. I hope you guys learned about this session today, and we will see you guys on the next webinars. Right. I'll see you guys on the next webinars. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.